seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
And hello, everyone. How are you doing? It is Dave Bondy. It is another edition of Keeping It Real. Hello to everyone who's watching on my locals community. And tonight, this is free for everyone. So, paid supporters, regular supporters, I wanted you all to be a part of the experience to see what's going on here on locals. Just wanted to know if you can see me because there's some new some changes with the software. So if you're watching on locals right now, go ahead and type on the screen and make sure. I want to know you can see me. Okay, you can see me. Sorry, they changed something in the software. So tonight I'm going to be interviewing an amazing woman, and she's multi-talented actually. And she is in Genesee County, Michigan. She's a teacher, but also an inspirational speaker. She may not think of herself that way, but I do. She wrote a book about based on children and how to help children. But I want to ask her some other things too, because people in Flint, Genesee County, lots of communities, children are suffering, and I want to ask her advice on how kids can get through some tough times. We're also going to be talking about the media, the bias in the media, how they shape certain things. I'm going to play some video for you in a little bit after we talk to China about what's happening. And we're going to be going into some new laws in the state of Michigan that could be coming out. Very interesting laws. They were regarding landlords and regarding homeless. But let's get to the star of the show. Let me bring her in right here. Hello. Now, is it China? Pronounce your last name.
Polite.
Polite. I like that.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good to see you. Happy to see you. I called you an inspirational speaker. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, but I like to add a little bit of music to it, so I can consider myself an inspirational speaker. But once I add that instrument to it, I'm a poetic rapper. Then.
I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
I found you on social media, and then it turns out that you're a teacher, you're an author, um, and since you have to deal with children, you're a psychologist too. You may not be a licensed one, but I'm sure you have a lot of
Yeah, have to
good.
help them throughout the trials they face in the classroom. It's always some.
Yeah. So let me go back. Did you grow up in Genesee County, Michigan?
Yes, I did. I was born in the city of Flint, Michigan, but me and my family, we lived in a small town called Mount Morris, a Beecher. So I been a Beecher student most of my life. I graduated from Beecher High School in the year of 2012.
Okay. And graduate. Wow, you're young. Okay. I'm an old guy. You're young. So when you were in high school or so forth, did you know what you wanted to do or be or?
Well, in high school, I knew that I had a thing for psychology. I always wanted to learn about people and help them prosper if they were, sad or feeling down. I wanted to get to the reason to why they felt like that and see if I can do anything to make them happy or provide them with resources to make sure that they had the necessities and positive things so they can regain back that source of equilibrium, because when you're sad, you're depressed, you're down, and things of that nature, the mind begins to suffer from this chemical imbalance. So in order to balance someone's brain cells back out, we got to get to the real reason to what's going on to help them if that person may or may not need medication. But I like psychology, but I also like music as well. Since I was a kid, about 5 years old and whatnot, I would always want to perform in front of people and entertain people. So I would go and make music and say, hey, I wrote this song. I want you to hear this and things of that nature. So I grew a love for music. I did not get to major in psychology because it was a point in time when Baker College was open on, it was off of Van Slyke Road near that area, in Bristol Road. And I inquired about a psychology program that they had. They said they didn't have that. The closest thing they had, whereas I could take multiple psychology courses, would be the social work program. So I enrolled in that. I didn't too much like my grades and things of that nature. So I said, it's time for me to take a break and just focus on life itself. So I ended up just going to a theology school in the city of Flint, Michigan. And I just learned about the Bible from a former pastor. His name was Dr. James Wheeler. So I just learned about the Bible and I really enjoyed Bible school. But then I said, this is not really going to help me get like a job with these type of credits because we're just learning about the Bible, things of that nature. So I said it's time for me to go to college for something that I adore, something that I love, and it's time for me to get back to the community. So I end up going to college for funeral service. But before I went to college for funeral service, of course, I went to school for to receive my CDA, my Child Development Associate Certificate. And after I did that, I went to cosmetology school too. I do so much, I forget. But I went to cosmetology school and I got my certificate in cosmetologist or whatever, cosmetology.
Yeah. My wife's a cosmetologist. Yep.
Yeah. And so after that, well, it's just so much, and this is just a rundown. I wasn't expecting this rundown, but I forgot.
No, that's fine.
It's sad that I forgot, but I did get my associate's degree in science from Wayne College in Detroit. So that took about a year and a half to get, but now I'm studying funeral service at Wayne State University. So I just took different steps in order to have a good career. So if I have a certificate in cosmetology, then that means that I'll be able to help the deceased do their makeup, do their hair, things of that nature. But, if I had my learning experience with being a child development associate, then I would be able to help children or be a teacher's assistant. But after I realized that I had like so many college credits, I didn't have to sit and be the lead teacher anymore. I was able to go into the schools and be a lead teacher. So it was just a great change that took place for me. And I'm happy that I made that change so I'll be able to help the people in the community far much better.
Wow. So let's get to, you have a book. How does someone write a book, or how that whole, and I'll show it in a minute here on the screen, how that all even start? And
okay, so the book is called The Teacher That Turned Into a Watermelon. And you ask, how do people write books and things of that nature? The book was rooted from my phrase, gifts for grief. Since I am in the funeral business, I had a desire to help people that were grievous. So I spent years upon years communicating with women in general that were grieving and people in the community that were grieving. I wanted to know their stories. I wanted to see how I could help. I wanted to play different type of games with them. I wanted to get them published in the news, which I did as well, to talk about their qualities. And I wanted to help them gain back their appetites as well. So having different type of cook-offs and giving them publicity to show off their foods and things of that nature. I did something to empower them so they don't have to, sit in their house and just say, I'm sad, I want to go to sleep and things of that nature. So I started writing books for children too, because I'm a teacher. And I wanted to help grieving children. It was a point in time when I was teaching, and a child would come up to me, multiple children, they would say, hey, my father died, or my father is in jail, or something negative has happened, and I wanted to see how could I help them cope. So of course I would give them little things, and I would say positive things like, I hope you be okay. Would you like to speak with the counselor? And I want you to write some things in the book of things of that nature so you can let your thoughts out and let us know what you are thinking and things of that nature. So I began to write the book to help grieving children laugh. They could be sad because their mother had died or their father or cousin had passed away. So I wrote the book so when they read the pages, they can laugh a little bit. And it's all different type of laughter. It's bad laughter, it's good laughter. I put a lot of good laughter in the book. I spoke in very funny, funny voices for them. And in reference
where
to
the headline or the title come from?
The Teacher That Turned Into a Watermelon. So I actually illustrated that title part, and it came from the good knowledge, choking hazards. I wanted to teach the kids about choking hazards in a positive way. So the teacher, her name is Miss Cursa. This is one of the characters in the book. She's teaching her students about not eating watermelon seeds because those are choking hazards. And if those get caught in the airway of a child, since the child's throat is so small, then they could choke and things of that nature. So the teacher ended up talking a little bit too much, and she didn't realize she had a watermelon seed in her watermelon, and she ended up choking on a watermelon seed. So the students, they ran up quickly, they jumped up and they called for help. A nurse shows up in the classroom, and the nurse begins to perform Heimlich maneuver and CPR on her to help resuscitate her and bring her back to life. But the kind of funny part of it is when the green leaf starts growing out of her head and she begins to look more and more like a watermelon. She begins to have all the red signs all over her face, and she just wanted she wanted to look back normal. She wanted the red bumps gone. She wanted the green leaf gone out of her head and things of that nature. So she began to take the vitamins, and of course, the the leaves began to depart from her head. And she dealt with bullying as well. So people would call her different names like green leaf head, and they would say things like they wish they could use the green leaves on her head for a salad, and things of that nature. So it was a form of bullying that I wanted the students to hear so they'll be able to discern what bullying sounds like. And I felt it was important for me to mention that part because being a teacher, I hear so much knick-knacking going on, so much, arguing, bullying, things of that nature. Me being a teacher, I have to be able to rectify that matter and say, hey, that's not right. You don't say that. Apologize to each other. You all are better than that. So being able to write in a book so they can be able to hear by audio and see through their vision what bullying behavior is like, then that may help them so they don't do that.
In that live chat giving you thumbs up. That's good. You talked about bullying. As a news reporter, I always heard every school district major problems with bullying. What advice would you have for parents, or I can't even imagine a teacher, because you have to look over so many children and every child is different. How do you deal with bullying, or what advice do you have for parents?
I
I
would
don't
say
know.
always check on your child. Always ask your child a whole bunch of questions and tell them to be honest about what's going on because sometimes kids may not tell everything that takes place at school. Or sometimes a child may get bullied, but then the other child used reverse psychology to give them something so they don't tell that they were being bullied. What I do as a teacher is I teach as a whole, but I always listen closely to the sidebar conversations because the sidebar conversations is how the initiations start, and this is how the friendships take place, and this is how the bullying take place. But if a teacher is not hearing what's going on inside of the classroom because they're so focused on elevating their voice to teach everybody, they may miss out on who's the real problem starter. So I will start with the parent, telling the parents to be a good listener, show up at the school. Just pop up. Don't even let nobody know that you're showing up. Just pop up and learn about the school system, learn about the teacher, learn about the environment that they are in. But most importantly, teach the child that honesty is the best policy. So don't go off lying about things. Tell the truth about things. Like my parent would say, if you tell the truth or if you don't tell the truth, how can we always believe you if you're not? So have the parents set a firm ground at home, set standards at home, and teach their child the way to communicate. So when they go and meet their classmates, yeah.
I want to permit communication. Everything I've done, and it's communication. And it's easy to get, as a parent, as an adult, to get caught up in your life and not to pay attention. But I have a 10-year-old, and I realize you can tell when something's wrong, but you have
Yeah.
to be paying attention.
Just get all in their face and their voice tones and the difference in their character. It changes.
Yeah, and I know this is not, hopefully not young people, but I just posted on my Twitter today. Last year, let me look at the number. Mental health is obviously a major issue in this country. Last year, 50,000 people took their lives in the United States, and I'm sure some of them were children. Hopefully, no young children, but and that's part of your book as well. Deals with, does it deal with mental health, or I mean, mental health is a very broad topic, I guess.
Yeah, I just want to add on to what you just said. So many people are committing suicide, and
Yeah,
that's why I wanted to mention bullying, because it was a young girl. She was autistic, and just recently she committed suicide because she was getting called names in her own school where she was going to school at. And I read that the school ended up having to pay the mother like $2 million or something like that, because I don't know if they took the proper protocols in order to stop the bullying, but it led to the young girl taking her life.
yeah.
But you mentioned like mental health. Am I discussing mental health in the book?
Yeah, in a way you are, I guess. You're dealing with
Well,
bullying and yeah,
Well, mental health, like you said, it's a broad horizon. It's a
it
lot
is.
of information. So when I discuss mental health, think about mental health as a lot of different form of knowledge. So how are we going to expand this person's brain so they're not just going to be thinking about one specific topic? Because a person mental health begin to advance when they begin to learn more. So I talked about different topics, the numbers, reading, listening, being able to see, measurements, bullying, how to properly speak. For an example, I go back and I ask questions. That's why I mentioned the word interactive, because I go back and ask questions in the book and I ask, well, did this person say something wrong? What did they do wrong? What did they do right? So this helps improve a person's mental health so they don't be caught up in a realm of negative thinking, because a lot of times negative thinking, if it's not just a strong chemical imbalance where someone was born with some type of mental defect, sometimes um, psychiatric problems happens as a person begins to grow, and sometimes it's due to negativity. It's the abuse, emotional,
I
physical abuse.
I'll admit, I'm 48 years old. I had a sister die when I was 3 years old. I had mental health issues. My parents thought I'm 48. Back in the day, mental health was like, oh, you don't get help. You need to be strong and don't get help. And you're right. It starts at a very young age.
Mhm.
So I want to bring up real quick again your book. Hold on here. If someone wants to get this, how can they get the book?
So if you want to purchase my book, you can go to www.giftsforgrief.net and you can purchase the book. The book also have a $10 discount code for you. If you are an educator from Beecher, from Flint, from Detroit or Macomb, you get the book for $10. So if you are from those specific area, you're going to put thanks Detroit or thanks Beecher or thanks Macomb or thanks Flint, and that's going to get you the book for $10. But if you're not an educator, then you can get the book just for $10 off. Which you can buy the book for $14, and you would just use the discount excuse me, the discount, that's a tongue twister, but the discount code, which is CPR.
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 Now, when I post this video out on YouTube, I'm going to put the link. But if people have questions, they can just email you right down there, right?
Yes, sir, they can.
Okay. You're a teacher. I want to ask because I was a news reporter in Flint. We did many events at schools. Hold on, let me get rid of your book here. As a oh boy, too many options. As a news reporter and anchor, we did many reading events at schools and so forth. And it was really disappointing because there were many even fifth, sixth graders that couldn't read. And a lot of times teachers are criticized, but I've learned a lot of it is the family, the upbringing, the parents or the lack of parents. What's going on in society? Baltimore, there's so many school districts where, people blame the schools, but you probably know, and you don't reveal any names or anything, but with the family, what's going on with families? Do we not have a mom and a dad? Or is the mom always working? Is the dad always working? What's happening now that didn't happen when I was a kid?
Well, what I honestly would like to say is everybody learn differently. Everybody develop differently. And when we teach, we have these Michigan tests that the students have to take. Some people reach that high level of percentile. Some people didn't, meet their mark. Um, but I learned that a child needs to have homework and their parent needs to help them. But although the parent may or may not be helping them, everybody learned differently. So I never did actually scold a child because they did not understand something. And this is why I have been selected as a preferred teacher or a long-term teacher, because when I teach from everything that is within me. And I'm not sitting down all day, eating donuts and things of that nature. I get up for those 8 hours that I'm teaching, and hey, I will be working with those students like I'm a student myself, but I'm the big student.
How
but
in, how in, how important is it for the parents or guardians to be involved?
It's very important for the guardians to be involved. It's very important for the parents to be involved. Sometimes when the schools had like parent conferences, they didn't show up. We will have to call some of the parents and let them know about their scores and things of that nature, because sometimes we kind of knew that the parents wouldn't show up. But it's important for them to be involved, but it's important for them to have tutors. And it's important for teachers to do their part and teach from everything that's within them, and work with them those full 8 hours that they are there, and have the students go up to the board to verify and show us that they know what they are doing and they understand what we are saying. And if they don't get it, what I do is I teach them a different way to do this,
Oh,
maybe,
nice.
yeah, a easier method. So it's not always about teaching them something in a way that everybody is learning, because everybody may not learn at the same rate. So I can say it's important for a parent to be there. I was always calling parents, of course, because they needed to know about their child's behavior and how they're learning, how they're learning in the class. But it's more important about that child's brain cells and their mentality. We need to know, can they grasp this information? Do they have a full understanding? And what can we do to help empower them? So this is where teaching and tutoring happens, because some people, they just don't learn this stuff, and when it's new to them, it becomes a whole different language. For an
Wow.
example, I'm a college student, so I'm learning about anatomy in the 9 regions, in the lumbar region, and the hypogastric region. This is new to me. So instead of me just saying, I'm upset, this is difficult, I'll have my phone, I have my papers, and I'll be learning about this for 10 to 15 hours daily, 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 until I get it. We're on a time limit. The parents are on a time limit. The teachers on a time limit in this learning atmosphere. So we have to teach, but we have to have the proper standards set so the child can be able to intake the information and learn. This is why I mentioned the time limit, because we have to teach ELA for 1 hour, reading and math for 1 hour. So we don't have a long time for them to learn. But if they learn with their parents while they're at home, if they have the proper tutor, if they have that proper repetitive type of learning where they're constantly thinking about this and not thinking about, what is going on in the entertainment field, or what's their new movie and things of that nature. If they're empowering their mind, then I believe they will get it. But if they don't, they will eventually learn it soon, because everybody, they just don't learn the same.
Oh, I know that. Someone in the comments is saying you have so much passion, which is a good thing. Um, Before I let you go, one last question. You're young. You've already accomplished a lot. What is your future? What do you know? What do you want to do? Just keep on. What's
Um,
your goal? Or
okay, so I've been a music artist my whole entire life. And that's not a dream that I want to let go. I will never let that dream go, because I know that I would be grievous if I let the dream go. And that's why I just auditioned for American Idol, because I wanted to show them a couple days ago. I wanted to show them my chops and what I can do. I realized that making music is a serious situation. It's just not one hit record type of situation, one, this wonder, hit wonder, whatever they call it. People have to be able to produce something that people can learn from, something that empower people, something that change people's lives, something that can possibly make people happy. So my goal is to make positive music that may help grievous people, that may empower men, women, and children, and implement all of my music into the academics. When I was teaching, we would make different type of songs, different type of mathematical songs to help the kids learn
Wow,
that.
cool.
For an example, when the kids didn't know how to write 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I would say, hey, kids, listen, 11 is just a 1 with the 1 in front of it. 12 is just a 2 with the 1 in front of it, because they have already learned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm teaching them an easier way to learn their numbers so they can go to the 20s, the 30s, 40s, 50s. So my goal is to make positive music and give back to the community, help the
Wow.
grieving people, help the sad people, work in the funeral industry since I am a funeral service student, and
Yeah.
help beautify these people that are deceased, help these people that are grieving, that are sad, that just had to bury their loved one, or may had to have their loved one cremated, or help someone that may just have been to jail. I have ministered at the Genesee County Jail too. So my goal is to give back in a positive way with all of the gifts that are within me, so I can make the world a better place, because we know this world has a lot of pros and cons. I don't
Yeah.
want to add to those cons. I want to add to the pros, and maybe we'll see a great difference in changing the world.
More people were like you, the world would be a heck of a lot better.
Hey, I try. I learned
Well, I'm
from
gonna.
my mom, I learned from my dad, and I learned from my grandparents as well. They were heavy in the church, and I just want to pour out everything that they gave to me to someone else, and that's love.
Amen. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna put your link in the in YouTube, Facebook, all that, and I'll send it out to you later tonight. But you are I'm proud of you, and you got it going on. It was an honor to meet you.
Thanks. It's an honor to meet you too, Mr. Bondy. I'm going to purchase your subscription, and I look forward to working with you soon on a lot of other cool things, because I want to help you develop too. I know your entrepreneur journey. It may not be easy, it may not be difficult, but entrepreneurs are real people. They have different trials that they have to face, and it's all about you elevating financially, mentally, economically, everything, so you can take care of yourself and your family and spend time with your kids and your family.
Once again, everyone watching, you can, or the website again, one last time.
www.giftsforgrief.net.
Okay. I'm going to put that in the link so everyone will know, and I'll message you a little bit later with some more stuff.
And before we go, we have to take a screenshot picture.
How do we do that? Oh,
I'll just snap it. One more.
okay.
Got your thumbs up?
That's the first time that's happened. That's cool. Okay.
Thumbs up. Hey,
Oh, oh,
thumbs up for coolness. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Bye. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I love
bye.
you all, and have a great day.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, she's amazing. She's wow. That's a lot of energy right there that she has. And wow, Jordan, that's okay, Jordan. Wow. That is China. China Polite. She's a teacher in Genesee County, Michigan. That was epic, but I made a mistake. I made this live for supporters only. So I apologize. I'm going to put the whole video out free later. I'm going to repost this video. I accidentally hit the wrong button. So only paid supporters are supposed to be watching. And I'm sorry, I messed up. Okay, so I'm going to go a little longer here, and I want to show you some new legislation that is happening in Michigan. And this is probably going to get a lot of different opinions. I want to bring this up on the screen right now. This is proposed legislation in Michigan involving landlords. This is not a law yet, but it might be. So this new law, these laws make it illegal for a renter's credit score to be used as a deciding factor. It makes it illegal for landlords to consider a tenant's source of income when making renting decisions. The proposal would also give homeless individuals the right to use and move freely in public, sidewalks, transportation, and buildings, among other things. It would also make it illegal to consider a person's criminal record when renting property. Now, that it's outside of which is required to be disclosed by federal law, such as, I believe, being a sex offender. So, those are new laws that might go onto the books in Michigan. I want to know what you think about this. And Jordan says your credit score shouldn't hinder your ability to have a home. Jordan, I tend to agree with you on that one. I do believe, though, if you are buying or renting a home, that your income should play a role. If you don't have a job and you're not making any income, if I'm a landlord, I'm probably not going to want to rent to you. So I should be able to know that. Also, when it comes to crimes, that's a tough one as well, because what kind of, crimes? It's, yeah, proven income, yes, but drug dealers with stacks of 20s, no. That's the thing as well, Jordan. And I think the law does say something about, illegal activity or something like that. So I just wanted to know what all of you thought about this. What do you think about these possible laws that could go into effect in Michigan? It seems like a lot of people agree that your credit score should not be used as a deciding factor. But there were other people on my social media page, they were saying that it should matter. So it really depends, I guess, on what you're thinking. And they also say when it comes to the homeless issue, what do you think about this? And a lot of people were saying that this homeless part of the legislation, it could turn us into San Francisco or Seattle, basically giving homeless people the right to go wherever they want. And you do have a right to go wherever you want, but do you want homeless living on every street corner? Or is that a bigger problem in society that we need to fix, that we need to work on? So there's a lot of factors with that it has to, and that goes back to mental health as well, because many people who are homeless have mental health issues. So that's just some of the laws. Scott Stillwell, income should be used as a factor. If someone makes $2,000 per month, they can't afford a $5,000 luxury condo. That makes sense. Jordan says saying the homeless should have the right to use and move freely could cause an issue with them sleeping on buses, causing safety issues. I never thought of that, Jordan. You're very right. You're very right about that. I didn't think about that. So the homeless part of it, that has a lot of people talking. And about, that might be a controversy right there doing that. So some new laws that are proposed in the state of Michigan. And can I get a recording of that? You never admit I'm right. Jordan Gray, I think, was right there. Yes. Okay, everyone. Well, I am going to bring up something here, and I'm going to try to do this more often. And I didn't have the technology to do it, but I'm going to do it now. As you know, I used to work in the media, right? I used to work in the media. And Jordan, I sent you a friend request on Facebook. Scott Stillwell. Scott is in Pennsylvania. Scott, meet Jordan. Okay, so is the media biased? That's a question. The answer would be yes. Now, back in the day, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, during the day, they would give regular news. They would tell you the who, what, when, or where on a story. But now it's all over the place. They give their opinion every 5 minutes or every 2 minutes. Back in the day, Fox News, CNN, at nighttime, they would have their commentary shows. And you knew they were commentary. But CNN, now, during the day, they put their opinions everywhere. So you don't know what's news and what's commentary. What I want to do is put up CNN right now, live, and watch and see what we can find. if we can see any bias as CNN is live on air. I'm going to be able to bring them up here. Let me do this. And I'm going to call them out live and see if we can find any bias. We need audio, though.
If he's the Republican nominee. DeSantis said today he was, quote, proud to sign the RNC loyalty
Can all of you
pledge.
hear this okay?
It's something Donald Trump has said he will not do. DeSantis took a dig at him about it.
There's no way that I would ever just take my ball and go home and pout. You got to continue to fight.
DeSantis is in Iowa ahead of his visit to the Iowa State Fair, where Mike Pence made an appearance today, and Trump is expected there this weekend as well. Our John King has been spending a lot of time traveling all across Iowa, obviously over many election cycles, but in these past months here, and he joins me now. So, John, you've had a chance this cycle to speak with voters across the state, and you've heard a lot of different opinions.
Are all of you able to hear the audio?
And you've been to a lot of
from
different
CNN?
places.
I have, Aaron, and you find a lot of different views about Trump. And this is the 2016 map. I'm using this map as an example because remember, last time you had a contested Republican caucus in Iowa. The last time you had, just like this year, a very crowded Republican field. Remember all those Republicans. So one place we visited was out here in Sioux City. This is out here, Woodbury County. This is Trump country. It was Trump country in 2016. The former president is still quite popular there right now. But even among his supporters, Priscilla Forsyth is one. She's a defense attorney, a former Democrat, came over to Trump in 2016. She says she likes him. She finds him to be charismatic. She doesn't really believe all the legal challenges against him, even though she's attorney. But listen here. She says there's just so much dust up about Trump. She and other conservatives are thinking maybe we should move on. If it were today, do you have any doubt that Donald Trump would win Iowa?
I have some doubt.
You do?
I do. Because I know so many people who.
Okay, so I want to pause it right there. So CNN is being, I think they're being fair. You can tell, though, that there's an anti-Trump tone to what they're reporting. Now, I'm not saying anything for or against Trump, but they are putting someone on camera who is a Republican. Let's go ahead and listen to see what else she says or what they ask her. Very interesting here. Hold on. Wrong button.
Are upset about it, about what's happening to him. They feel like I do, that somebody's trying to take him down, and they'll do whatever they have to. There's a lot of people looking for someone else. They don't know who it is.
Now, don't get me wrong, Aaron. She says she still doesn't completely rule out supporting Trump. But when you spend a week out there and you talk to people, is Trump heavily favored? Yes. Make no mistake about that. Is there a narrow path of possibility to beat him? I would argue yes.
And I'm also curious, and people think of Iowa as a rural state, but there are places that are more rural than others, right? Truly more rural. And what do you find when you go there?
So look at this map here from 2016. The light color here, that's Ted Cruz. He's not in the race, of course. The dark is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is now most popular in many of these smaller rural counties, and not just rural counties. Places like here, you go to Blackhawk County, it has Cedar Falls, it has Waterloo, small cities, small communities like this. One of the people we met here, Chris Mudd, he's a businessman. The family has an advertising business. He also runs a new solar installation company. He is all for Trump. But listen, even he concedes all this talk of the legal cases does create some doubt.
I think he's the best guy for the job. I think he can come in and get the job done. Now, whether or not he's gonna make it to the election or not, I don't know. I mean, you hear people talk about putting him in jail before he even has an opportunity to run, and I wonder why are they attacking him so hard?
Okay, so just wanted to bring up CNN and watch it right now and see what what any media bias that's going on. And CNN seeming to be overall pretty fair right now. So that's something I want to do every so often is check in on the media, check in on, what they're doing, any bias they may have. But they seem to be pretty fair in that situation. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. I really appreciate it. And I might go live on Locals again in just a little bit so everyone can watch, because I made the mistake of not allowing everyone to join. Oh, yeah, Fox and MSNBC, not so much. They are in both corners like that. So yeah. Thank you very much. I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Coming up on Sunday on my local show, I am going to be talking to a woman who is homeschooling her children. She has had enough with public school, and she's telling us why she took her kids out of the public school system and why she is glad she did it. She's not regretting it. More and more parents are taking their kids out of public schools. We are going to be interviewing one of those parents on Sunday. Jordan Gray, I love how you can say anything you want on here and you won't be banned. Jordan Gray says F off, and that's fine. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you on Sunday. Have a good night.